Okay, so I'm back. Um, in the first video, I talked a little bit about some of the questions that have been coming up in terms of my process and my approach. I talked about some of my ideas behind the quick sketching versus longer sketching, and I sat here and fiddled with my laptop until I could figure out a good way to show you through my little eyesight camera um, how I'm sketching, so you can get a kind of feel of how I go about it. Um, and right now, I'm going to take my sketch that you've seen in part one, which is just um, everything sort of roughly laid out. I've got my proportions in there, my structure. Like I said, it's not a perfect drawing. It's just perfect enough. It gets the job done. It's just kind of trying to show you how I approach things. And now that I've gotten this much information down, some anatomical information, some structural information, I'm going to touch it up and finish the job. Okay, so now that I've gotten this rough sketch, you can see all the lines are relatively loose. Now there's a difference between being loose and sketchy and pecking, okay? Pecking is where you make all these little scratchy lines one after another, and the lines look very frayed. It looks very unattractive, just bad aesthetically. What pecking is usually an indication of inhibition on the part of the artist. You're scared, you don't trust yourself, you think that you're going to make a mistake. And you know what? I'm going to be frank with you. When you're starting out, you probably are going to make a mistake. Actually, you're probably going to make a couple of mistakes. Um, Maybe more than a couple. That's just the nature of the game. You've got a lot to learn. If you weren't in the process of learning, you'd be a professional right now. And to be frank, you never stop learning. But eventually, you just become adept enough to where you reduce the amount of mistakes. Okay, so I'm going to bring my hairline back a little bit because I didn't like the way that looked. Erase that. Okay, give me a little bit more forehead. Yeah. I usually don't erase much in my sketches, but okay, so now at this point, like I said, I work from the inside out. I start with eyebrows, eyes, nose, mouth, and then sort of work in defining the contours, exterior contours. Now, first thing I'm going to do is come back into the eyes. And I'm going to grab a sharper pencil also. Okay. Here we go. Sorry about that, guys. Sharper pencil. That's another thing. A lot of my students sometimes be a little lazy and don't like to sharpen their pencils, and it shows. Always keep several pencils sharpened at one time. That way, instead of having to constantly sharpen your pencil, you just grab a new one, keep moving. You don't have to break your stride, and once you're done, you can get up and resharpen all your pencils. Okay, so I'm going to take that other pencil and I'm going to thicken out these eyebrows. Now, one thing that you'll notice that I'm doing is I'm putting lots of lines in there for the eyebrows, but you can't really see them because they're coherent. Comes together like a shape, okay? Now, why is that important? Because that's what the eye does. The eye doesn't see a bunch of individual hairs on the eyebrows. Um, it sees shapes, and the reason why is because at a distance, the eye kind of, brings all that stuff together and simplifies things. Okay, just kind of getting out this contour of the face. Okay, and just gonna clean up the side of that face a little bit. Okay. Again, I usually draw a lot faster than this, but goofing around with your laptop and talking and trying to record a video and burning the heck out of my thigh because this laptop battery is hot and all that fun stuff, you tend to get a little distracted, Okay. A little information. Well, what's a character without some facial hair? Let's make him look a little villainous. How about some facial hair? How do I do facial hair? So what do? I follow, again, the general direction of the facial hair. Yes, I do put lots of little individual hairs, but at the end of the day, I am keeping them coherent so that it doesn't look like a bunch of individual little hairs, because that's not what a mustache looks like at a respectful personal boundaries distance. I mean, usually you don't want to be that close to somebody unless it's a hot date or something and you're having a good night kiss. Otherwise, you want to keep about a 1 foot radius. I'd say that's safe. And at a safe distance, you typically aren't going to see little teeny tiny hairs. You're going to see hair groups. Okay, so just kind of touching things up a little bit. Give him a collar. Make him look smooth. That was really unnecessary. He didn't need the collar, but oh well. Anyway, okay, ears, ears are one of those things where they're probably the least interesting part of the face, in my opinion. If I had to date a girl without a nose, or choose between a girl without a nose or without ears, I would definitely go with the girl without ears because she can just grow her hair long and that'll be the end of that. But anything else missing from the face is off. Okay, so I've gotten a basic shape here for my hair. So now how do I put the hair in without making it look like an old broom, which is what some of you guys would do? So I take the general direction of the hair and I group the lines in the direction that I want that hair to go, to kind of indicate, now I'm doing sort of dark, curly hair, very similar to my own dark, curly hair. And so in that case, I have to make lots of little hair groupings where I'm grouping the strokes together. Because you want to as much as possible mimic what is actually going on in reality in your drawing, and that's what gives it a certain level of believability, and you want to give it the right texture. And so here is how I do that. Now, is there more than one way to do this? Of course. Is there a better way to do this? I'm sure somebody somewhere has found a better way to do this. This is just the way that works for me. It doesn't mean that it, absolute gospel. I've had teachers in the past be a little dogmatic about their approach to art, and I can be a little dogmatic too, to be honest. But sometimes certain things just don't work for some people. And I appreciate a little flexibility in my teachers and my students. Okay, so here is our quick sketch, 10 to 15 minutes. Like I said, nothing, it's not perfect. It's not mind-boggling, but it's a quick 10 to 15 minute sketch. Take it for what it's worth. This is my process. If you have any questions, please drop me a line, and I'll be happy to show you. And like I said, I really push for not going over 15 minutes. I'm not exactly sure how much I was drawing in these two videos total. It is a lot longer than what I normally do because I'm drawing in in an awkward position, and I'm talking at the same time, so that tends to slow me down and distract me a little bit. But anyway, it's midnight. I'm going to bed, y'all. Take care, folks.